We are back with SEN's continuing coverage of the Tokyo Olympics. Great to have your company, and now it's time to talk some hockey, and it is going so well for our hockey teams over there in Tokyo. The men's through the knockout stages, the women's through the knockout stages, and the best thing yet is that the big duck egg is still in the L column for both, which is fantastic. And the Hockeyroos got it done earlier today. Really tight affair against Argentina. And happy to say Renee Taylor, who's a big part of the Hockeyroos setup, joins us right now live on SEN. Renee, how was that for you? That a really tight contest against the Argentinians. We've had some great battles with them in hockey over the years. How do you sum up that performance today?
Yeah, really happy with that performance. Not only to beat Argentina convincingly with a 2-0 win, but to finish off our pool stages undefeated has been a real confidence boost for the girls going into the quarterfinals.
Easy question to ask, but maybe a harder one to quantify. But why has it gone so well thus far? Not getting ahead of ourselves. Obviously, the business end is to come, and the reason you're over there is to come. But why has it turned out this way after the pool matches?
I think you've touched on it, not getting ahead of ourselves. We've really had to focus this tournament on taking it one game at a time, so it's not looking ahead of the what ifs, who are we going to face in the quarterfinals, the semi-finals, what if we win a medal. It's nothing like that. It's who have we got next. We win one game, we've been moving on to the next game, and that's been our sole focus. And the good thing about the team at the moment is all the girls, we sit there and we know, we've come out of our pool stages, we've done really, really well, but that means nothing now going into quarterfinals because the slate's clean and you just got to win going forward.
You've conceded once. What on earth? Like, what? How?
Yeah, look, I think that's a big hats off to our defenders and our entire team, actually. So our defence starts from the front with our strikers really putting their ball carriers under pressure, and our middies and our defenders making sure they're doing their jobs and just making life really tough for them. So as a group, we've been defending as a unit, and I think that shows on the scoreboard.
The togetherness. I mean, watching back here in Australia, you can just see it. You don't have to listen to anything. You don't have to listen to any quotes of anything. You can just see out there that you are as one, and you take the cutaways of the bench, and everyone is just bought in. Has, in a way, and we won't dive into it again because you're probably sick of thinking about it and talking about it, but what's happened in the last 12 months with the hockey program, has that manifested itself into what we see now is a bunch of players who are just totally on the same page?
Yeah, I think it's really unified the group. It has been a tough 12 months, 18 months even since COVID's hit, and the group's had to stick together and go on, you know what, we're here for a common goal, we're here for a common purpose, and we've really bonded together and just looked forward to that. So any challenges that's come our way, we've just faced them as a team and kept looking forward. What's
been the best bonding exercise you've done away from, well, not just playing, but in the lead up to this as well and training?
It might not be considered bonding exercises if you've seen any of the videos of it, but we play a little game called Spikeball, and everyone gets up for that. Everyone gets around it. We've played it in activations before games, and we've had to make shoes a requirement because we get so competitive in that, and everyone wants to win. So we've just done little activities like that to make sure that we're all together as a group. However, I think a few times we've sat there and gone with Spikeball, maybe this is tearing our group apart because of how competitive we get. But at the end of the day, it shows just how much the whole group wants to win, whether it's out on the hockey pitch or out on the grass playing spikeball.
What is it? Like, just explain it. Give us a bit more of a description about what this exercise is about.
I think it's been described as like a volleyball type basketball game. So it's like a net on the ground that you get 3 touches and you got to hit it into the net and then bounce it up. So yeah, if people want to YouTube Spikeball videos, we're pretty close to the standard there. That's a joke, we're not. Some of them are ridiculous, but I reckon we've gotten better. We put out the challenge to the entire Olympic Village that we reckon we can take anyone in Spikeball that's in the village. We're that confident with how we've improved in that. So, we're making improvements on the hockey field and off the hockey field, it seems.
Why isn't this an Olympic event in itself and the possibility of many of you becoming dual Olympians across 2 sports?
Oh, look, being a Brisbane girl with the Olympics in 2032, I will 100% be pushing for Spikeball to be in the Olympics. The game is insane. Highly recommend people to watch it. It's so much fun to play, but it's also much fun to watch because even when teams aren't playing, we're up there cheering for whoever's playing when there's been a good rally. So we'll push for that to be in the 2032. We might come back out of retirement, a few of us.
Excellent. About Brisbane, I don't know if you found out before the game today or you might have found out post with contact with family and friends back here in in Australia, southeast Queensland, bang, snap lockdown all of a sudden. Have you across that piece of news?
Yeah, I did hear that just before we headed off to the game. So reached out to mum and dad who are based in Brisbane. They're actually down on the Gold Coast having a weekend away. So they were like, oh, we'll be heading back up to hopefully watch your game. So I think they watched our game against Argentina in the car on their drive home back to Brisbane. So thinking of everyone back home, not just in Brisbane, but in Sydney, Melbourne, Adelaide, all around Australia, going through a pretty tough time. And hopefully we're putting a smile on their faces, watching us do our thing, not only in hockey, but all the sports.
In a perverse kind of way, and I don't wish this lockdown to continue as I stand here in Sydney. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. But the timing from our perspective couldn't have been any better as a person who loves the Olympics, speaking personally so much, be able to soak it in more so than you would ordinarily because of the time zone and because of the fact that we can't bloody do anything else. It's been perfect for us. Have you got a sense of actually, it is a pretty big deal back here. Have you got that sense over there or are you too far removed from it?
Yeah, definitely got that sense. I've given my social media accounts over to my mum and my brother to run during this period, but they've been passing on messages that people have sent out to me, and people that you haven't heard from in years or things like that who've just sat down and gone, I've never watched a game of hockey in my life, but I've now watched every single one of your games. So we're definitely feeling it over here, and we're feeling the love from all of Australia, and it's looking like most of Australia being able to watch with these lockdowns around the country.
With the conditions, now obviously playing in the middle of the day is a bit different conditions-wise, despite the fact that you check the humidity and you could probably, you're much better versed to tell us exactly how it feels out there. But is it a bit easier to play in the twilight hours as opposed to in the middle of the day or a time that you played today, given the fact that a hockey field, for those not across it, it does get soaked. So there's a bit of heat coming out and humidity wouldn't be your friend either. How the conditions been time slot to time slot?
Yeah, the conditions have been pretty harsh. Obviously, that middle of the day time slot, you're in that full sun, whereas the evening time slots, it's a lot more humid and a lot more muggy and sticky, so you sweat a whole lot more. But we were prepared for that coming into it. We knew we had midday matches, so our whole focus leading up to these games was making sure that, one, we were fitter than any other team, and two, that we were ready for the heat. And we kind of took a mantra that we'd embrace the heat and not complain about it. Yeah, it's hot, but it's hot for both teams, so let's just go and get the job done. So I think that's really worked in our favour. And I'm enjoying playing in the heat. I want to keep playing in the heat because other countries don't seem to like it, and we're going, well, give it to us. Let's see what you can do.
Yeah, it's just a reminder of what it's like in Brisbane in January, surely.
Exactly. I've had a lot of pre-seasons in Brisbane over the Christmas period, and you sit there and you're like, I think I'm about to die. It's disgusting. So definitely well trained for it.
Hey, Renee, your next one, you don't know yet. India have locked in their position after 5 games on 6 points, but Ireland could jump above if they get a result. I think their last pool game is against Great Britain. That's not until later this evening. Can you give us the subtle differences between the two prospects of your next match?
Well, Ireland's a very big unknown for us. We've never played Ireland, at least in the time that I've been with the Hockeyroos. And India is one of those dark horses that can really come out firing and put you under pressure from the start. So I think either one that we're going to face is going to be a big challenge and something that we can't take lightly. It'll be really interesting to see how Ireland shape up against Great Britain tonight in their must-win match, and see who we face in that quarter, because we know it's going to be hard, and we're just waiting to see who we're going to be going out for that semi-final spot.
What did you watch last night, by the way? Because it was a bit on. Do you get a chance in the village to watch, or have you got too many professional things to do in terms of your own preparation, so you have to put yourself in a little zone?
Yeah, well, with the village and being in our little bubble inside the village, we spend most of our time in our room when we're not recovering or meeting. So last night we actually watched the Matildas play, which was absolutely awesome, and awesome to see them get through to the semi-final, and a thriller of a match. So we had that on. Each room has brought over a little projector that we set up. So we've got some pretty good setups over here, big screens to watch a lot of the sport on. So I think no matter what the sport is we're supporting, we watched the BMX freestyle for the first time this morning. We watched Logan Martin race, and God, we've never watched BMX before, but we thought we were experts cheering him on and saying you should have got a better score. So that's the amazing thing about being here and being at the Olympics is you've always got something to watch. You've always got someone to support, and you've got the whole Team Australia around you.
Yeah. Just before I came for you for this interview, I was like an expert in trampoline and diving, and we'll get back to the diving in a moment as well. The trampoline was spectacular in itself. Just a quick one. How are the dormitories? I mean, the cardboard beds holding up okay?
Yeah, cardboard beds are good. A lot more sturdy than I think what people realise. I did mention to one of the girls, when you go to bed at night, do you notice a bit of a cardboardy smell? And she goes, no, I haven't. Then the next morning she said, I noticed the cardboard smell, thanks. I think, the facilities that Japan's put on here and all the Tokyo organisers, it's amazing and only been improved further by what Team Australia has been managed to set up in our building. So I think we've definitely got the best setup in the village. We've got little deck chairs outside and with TVs if we want to come down and grab a quick coffee and watch something on the TV and whatnot. So we're very well looked after over here.
Yeah, cool. So chill out day tomorrow. Is it get the legs going a little bit before the next one, the quarterfinal in a couple of days' time?
Yeah, we'll have a training session tomorrow. We haven't been able to train throughout our 5 pool matches with our back-to-back games and day off in between. So we'll get out on the training pitch, making sure that we're refining a few things and everything's falling into place for that quarterfinal on Monday, I think it is.
Yeah, Monday. Not sure exactly the times have been locked in or whatever. Not if you're playing in the midday sun or at the evening, won't really matter. It's any time, any place. I dare say the mantra for your side, and hopefully you can get it done in that quarterfinal. Renee, really appreciate your time, and we're all watching. We're all willing you on back here in Australia. Hopefully it turns out well for what your own expectations are, most importantly. And thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. And quick shout out to my mum and dad, Sonia and Graham, for all their support. And hope they're holding up at home all right with the 2 dogs and my brother.
Yeah, cool. No worries. Yeah, the parents, absolutely. Shout out to them. And they'll get down to the Goldie again. The Goldie will be there before this, after this snap lockdown's call. But Renee, thanks again and go well.
No worries. Thanks so much.